You are listening to the Built to Grow podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons, in studio, sunny Scottsdale, Arizona, joined by Randy Angston, my co-host. How are you today, Guy?
I'm doing well.
Sweet shirt, bro.
Yeah, remember that one?
I do remember that one. What does it say on the back?
What is it? The secret to...
Want to know the secret? Pick up heavy shit and put it over your head.
Boom!
That was a good shirt, man.
That was fun. We did that one. We were going to... I don't know. We were going to just offer it up. I think me, you, and Chris ended up with them, and that was it, baby.
That was it. Yeah, that's Chris's...
So our buddy, Chris Smith. Shout out to Chris.
Chris. What's up, dude?
That was fun. That was a good one.
Yeah, man. We're... some states are open, some aren't.
Still in the mix. COVID mix.
You know, I talked to a client, Dimitri, today in Canada, in Toronto. He says late July.
Well, we talk to Evan all the time. Evan doesn't even know if he's ever going to open again in Pennsylvania.
Oh, God. Guys, I feel for you guys. I was going crazy when we were closed. You know, thankfully we were allowed to open, but I don't know what I'd be doing right now. I mean, you just got to keep pushing that online. You got to keep building up trust.
Yep, exactly. Still build your ecosystem as much as you can while
get as many leads as you can. We did really, really well the first probably 3 weeks of running our program for the online, the Pulse Gives Back. Really good results. And that kind of brings us into the topic for today, which is, you know, the condition of the market right now.
Temperature of the marketplace.
Temperature of the marketplace, of what's going on, and stuff to talk about, because something that's happening from our gym as well as some of the other gyms that are seeing, we've got our clients back in the majority, but there's still some people hanging on the sidelines. And you know, we haven't been hit really hard here in Arizona, so it's not like it's as tight as maybe something like New York or those other states that have been really pounded by the COVID situation. But, you know, there are still some clients that are afraid to not just come in here, but just do anything, leave their house. Yeah. And it's unfortunate, but, you know, we wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't address that as well as what's going on in the marketplace. So think about this, guys. If you're opening up and, you know, we saw a big surge. You know, our schedule was packed and all this stuff was happening, but you know, there's always these like, man, I want to say it's about 10% of our clients are just waiting, and they're waiting out there, and some of them are still on freeze, and so we're not making, you know, revenue from those clients, but they're still, you know, members, and they're just kind of waiting. And really, the funny thing is, we're ready to get back in, but if our current clients, the ones that trust us for years and years, those ones are still hesitant. What does that say about the market in general? Right?
That's a good question.
So while like maybe I'm not concerned about it and you're not concerned about it, the honest truth is the people out in the market, they are still hesitant to come back in.
I would say to probably the same tune or same percentage, right?
I don't know, man. It might be a little bit more, to be honest.
Think so?
With you. Yeah.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, your population. Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, it just depends on how comparable your lot of people is to the whole marketplace. But it's really strange. And this is before the podcast, we were talking about emotions and logic and things like that, right? This is one of those situations where you can stare at the math and you can make your perception, or you can make your choice simply based off of numbers and from a hard logical stance. Yep. But this is life, and we're talking about the risk of people's lives and sickness and things like that. And so there is always going to be an emotional aspect to it. And the conversation that we're having with that percentage of people, it needs to be. We need to take in some of that understanding that it's not just simply a math problem.
Right.
And so addressing them to where they are today and the perception of how they respond to this and what they're seeing and what they're believing. And so, yep, there is a percentage of people that we don't want to forget about because they matter just as much as everybody else. But how can we serve them? How can we communicate with them? What should we say so that we can make them comfortable and realize that we're doing our due diligence and whatever we can to keep them safe? And then ultimately we just want to help.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we've got to figure out ways to get people in the doors.
Absolutely.
So marketing, you know, we've said this for several episodes. We've been talking about you need to explain and educate your market about the things you're doing to keep them safe. And while that will go so far to get those people that are maybe kind of already leaning towards coming in, just making them feel more comfortable, it's still isn't talking to those people that are scared to do anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you do. They're just not going to budge. And maybe they need it. Maybe they want it and they won't move. And to be super transparent, we've had clients come in and, stuck with us the whole time during the freeze, trained online, came in, and then canceled their membership.
Interesting.
And they just said, you know what? I just don't want to take the risk. Okay. I mean, what do you say to that? Like, It's like, oh, okay, you can't speak logically because you're insensitive.
Sure.
You can't do that. So the marketing angles that you should be taking is a couple different ones. And I heard somebody, mention this the other day, and I don't remember who it was, but they had a pretty good strategy around trying to get people that are scared eventually, indoctrinated into coming into the gym. And it was something like this. It was like, hey, offer your program as a 30-day at home with the graduation of showing up at the gym. So your direction of the program would be, we understand you're not ready. Here's 30 days to keep you moving and get you onboarded. And as they get to see your coaches' faces on the videos and you're reaching out to them and they're hearing your voice and they start to get that trust factor. Again, these aren't people that have ever come in.
Yep.
If the people that have been training with you are still hesitant, you got to really
you have to assume that less trust and respect is already built, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So exactly. So you've got much less. So you got to really go out of your way to, get them moving, get them in our home program, but having them see you and your coaches and build the trust and learning the workouts and understanding, what you call things and getting that trust factor that the whole time that you're not hiding it, you're saying, hey, at the end of this thing, we're going to get you comfortable to come in and work out with us in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that a lot because it's just another way to go after the market, still get them to know, like, and trust you, get them working out, get them understanding who you are, but then not forcing them, but making it known, like, at the end of this program, you're going to be coming in and we're going to have, a couple of weeks here and graduation here at the gym, and you can work out with us in person and making that a big deal. I really like that angle. Again, it's just another angle.
Mm-hmm.
There's other ways to do it, but the indoctrination sequences and the text messages that you say and, the words you use and the emails and the outreach calls, that would go all into this. And I think if we weren't so far open already, I might look at doing this for a gym that might be getting ready to open.
Sure.
This might be a good one for the New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Toronto, gyms that aren't quite, maybe you're in phase 3 or whatever that means, and that isn't June. Like, why don't you run this right now? This makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And keep it running. And you can run it for several months, even after you're open, because again, like we said, there is those hangbacks. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just a way to do it.
Yeah, it's kind of, you use the term strategy. I mean, it's kind of a strategy or a tactic within a strategy as well, right? Getting somebody into your ecosystem so that you have the ability to communicate. Mm-hmm. And build that trust, respect factor over time. That alone, regardless of how you're getting them in there, that is something that I think our marketplace is missing as a whole. Fitness facilities, brands in fitness right now are, and we've said this continually. We since the social media platform came around, or advertising platform came around, everybody just put all of their eggs in the direct response basket. And we just assume that the marketplace is just going to jump at our doors because we've got the lowest price point offer today. Yeah. Well, that's great, but that's not attracting the lifelong client. That's not attracting the person who signs up for your belief systems and that chose you because of your core values and what makes you guys unique. And it's simply just a logical, hey, cool, easy, affordable, boom. The other end of the spectrum, that lifelong client, the client that we all want to work with, that we know is going to be in our business for years, is the one that came into our ecosystem. We built value and we provided value over time. We've educated. Mm-hmm. We've ascended them up the awareness triangle that we talk about, so much. And then that person becomes not only an advocate for your business, but in marketing, right? That's your promoter. That's a person who's bought into your systems, your beliefs, everything that your business operates with. And they're the person who's going to run around town talking about your business as the solution for them and the means to an end.
They found it, right?
This is a perfect tactic right now, given the situation that we find ourselves in, on not going after that warmest market, the person who's looking for a fitness option, and slapping them in the face with a discount. Let's approach them where they lie today, and that's the fact that they are uncomfortable coming into a facility right now, and that's okay for them, right? That's okay. We still want to serve that demographic. Here is our way. Here is a system that we're going to put into place to attract that person and steer them down where they and meet them where they are and provide what they need in order for them to make the right decision for them.
I think a really good way to do this is to create a program that you do in your gym or at home. I think this would be the perfect combination of both, where you've got the people that are ready now, let them join and come into the gym. But if you're not comfortable, you can get the at-home version of the same thing. And in the version of the at-home one, the whole goal is to get them in the door.
Into the door, sure.
Yeah, or if you've got an online program, leave them on that.
I was going to say that this is also something that you can do for those that, this is a new pole in the water.
I'm thinking about it right now. We're just talking about this candidly. I think it's a landing page with 2 large buttons. Do you like to work? Would you want to work out at home, or do you want to work out in person at the gym?
Take them through that funnel.
Take them into a different page if they want to work out at home. Hey, great, I'm so excited you want to work out at home. We understand, blah, 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 blah. Here's how it works. This is the goal. It's $199 for 30 days. You're going to get 30 days of workouts. You get your nutrition plan. We're going to check in with you every single week. We're going to take you through the path. And at the end of the program, you have 2 options. You can come in, and that's what we would like to see happen. But if you're still wanting to stay at home, we have this other program. Just tell them that up front.
Yeah, transparency. And that's one thing that I've always respected about this business here is, like, there's nothing to hide. And I think that as we work with gym owners, the conversation of, like, do you put your price points on your website? Do you have a conversation, at the first time you've talked to a lead, or that phone call, like, hey, what are your pricing? Well, yeah, it's hard to explain value at a simple number. Obviously, that phone call, you'd like to have a little deeper conversation. But at the end of the day, if they're asking about price point, it's probably because that's a deciding factor in their willingness to walk through the door. Yeah. So there's nothing to hide, right? You're not going to hook somebody and then all of a sudden, cool, they're willing to spend $500 a month. No, that's not how it works. So transparency, letting somebody know.
We had a Voxer conversation with one of our past coaching clients, Ryan Waters.
Yeah.
And he just did $50,000 in the 6-week challenge.
Really?
He did.
Well, he's running.
It's way different.
Yeah,
than
yeah.
And he really, where he made his money was on supplements.
Very cool.
Yeah, because he's sponsored. He's a sponsored athlete and stuff. So he did like 70 supplement stacks, and that's where he said he made most of his money from.
Interesting.
And I'm gonna have a conversation. We'll probably do a Facebook Live in the Business Talk group and have him talk through it. But it's the 6-week challenge name, but it's not the bait and switch version of it. Yeah. I guess.
Yeah, as we talked about that going in, I mean, because we were in that coach. We were actively coaching him as he was coming up with that plan.
Yep.
And his plan was very specific. It targeted a certain demographic. He knew why he was going after, who he was going after. I mean, he thought this through.
Oh yeah.
So I'm glad to hear that the numbers, on the other end panned out.
It was a nice relief from not having any income to an extra $50,000. And he's also another guy that we took and introduced semi-private training into his facility. And he's getting me the numbers, but he's like, dude, it's crazy how much better this is.
I mean, for you guys listening, Ryan is a competitor. He's a competitive athlete. I mean, I believe he was, given this situation, I think he was going to compete in Olympia if this all didn't. Arnold. Yeah, it was Arnold. If all this didn't pan out the way it did. But so, imagine that gentleman, his type of training, what he likes to do. He, a portion of his business was that demographic, right? Mm-hmm. He takes a lot of fit men and makes them Olympic or exactly, right? Shred Casey or something, right?
Yeah, so it's there are opportunities, and I think Zach brought this up. He's like, man, I bet you the 6-week challenge comes back around after this,
guaranteed,
which is fine. I mean, you go back to episode 50. I mean, you're welcome to listen to that episode. It was probably one of our top 5 episodes of all time, and we break it down. And that's, in fact, episode 50 is how a lot of the listeners came in to hearing about us, because it went viral and went crazy. People were jumping in that. And, we were very matter of fact, and we broke it down because we're very familiar with it. So,
The only thing that, as we said on that episode, we had hindsight at that point. We were able to look back and over the years that had transpired since that kind of hit the marketplace or got, exploded on the marketplace versus where all the facilities were today. And if you haven't listened to that episode, if you haven't heard it recently, before you decide to go do something like that, go listen to that. because
episode 50.
Yeah, because that, again, it might be perfect today, but understand that if you're not okay with what your business is going to look like in a year or two after, as a result of that,
Yep.
Marketing play, there's truth and there's application in where you're going to be down the road given running that play today.
Yep.
So with anything, right? It's risk, it's reward, but we've lived it. Our clients have lived it. We've seen how that plays out over time. I'm sure Pulse Fitness is not signing up for a 6-week challenge.
No, we're not.
So
yeah, and we're hearing a lot of success about the 21 days for 99, with 28 days for 117. There's all these. It's all coming back. It's all back around.
It's where we were 4 or 5 years ago.
Which is
this
good.
month.
It's good because that stuff worked, and we made a lot of money doing that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of money for our clients doing that, and we still have clients today that came in on those offers, and it works. So here's the takeaway, guys. The big picture is this, but yes, the majority of your clients are going to come rushing back in. There's going to be a percentage that aren't. That tells us that if your clients that know, like, and trust you still are on the fence, what does that tell you about your marketplace? It means that is probably the same feeling that they have.
Yep.
How do you get those people comfortable with you? And I like the at home with the the graduation into the gym. I like a funnel, driving traffic to it, and 2 large buttons. Just that's it. Click 1 if you want to work out at home. Click button 2 if you want to work out in person. And then in the in-person one, we talked about the at-home one already. At the in-person one, you go through all the safety measures that you're talking about to just reiterate and make them feel comfortable that when they do come in, you've got the protocol in place, and then put them into some type of paid program into 21, 28, 36 weeks. It doesn't matter. Get them in your gym on a program that they get X, Y, and Z. We coined this name, bracketed program. It starts on this date, it ends on this date. We're taking this many people. It's this price, and you get X, Y, and Z.
beautiful.
People can look at that. They can digest that. They can make sense of that. I can commit to that and take their payment online if you can. I mean, we did it for years. Take their payment online. If not, have them book an appointment. And I think you've got a strategy right there. I like that strategy a lot. In fact, we're switching some stuff up here too. So we've been open since the 15th. Now it's almost a month.
Almost a month. Yep.
Month in. Yeah. We've seen a surge, and then we saw a drop, and now we're coming back around. So get ready. It's a little bit of a roller coaster, but people are coming back in. A client in Oregon, he opened up. I've gotten 6 clients in the last 3 days with no marketing. People are just coming in. So that whole episode we talked about, people are lying to you that say people are not ready to come back in. It's absolute BS.
Yep.
We're seeing it happen. People are coming back in, but we have to be realistic here. Not everybody's comfortable, and not even your own clients are not even, but the majority are. So
yeah. I mean, I just making that statement from the beginning to me is asinine. Like, how do you tell a business owner that none of your clients are going to walk through the door? Like, you've created relationships with these people. Like, you're going to know a lot more than the marketing guy.
We sliced and diced that whole thing up pretty much well and done. And we even had some experts on. We had Berardi on, John Berardi. We had Martin Rooney on talking about the same thing. And they're like, they both had different takes on it.
Yeah, they had different beliefs, sure.
But I think our belief is your clients are coming back. They want to come back. They want to train with you. They've been stuck at home. They want to get back in the gym. So be ready for them.
And it's a little more than just a belief, though, because, again, you've done it.
Yep.
Our clients are doing it. This is evidence now. It's not just theory,
Damn right.
And so that's the difference, and that's why we're comfortable telling you guys, prepare for that. Because
That's right.
Because that's the truth of how it's going to be in your facility. Now, to elaborate on it, like Tim said, though, don't neglect the fact that it's not everybody.
Yeah, it's not 100%.
Yeah.
And not only that, something that really isn't discussed a whole lot is the clients that fell off, even if they stayed paying, but they weren't on your Zooms, and it's going to be a lot harder for them to get back on track. You're going to have to do some outreach, get them on the phone, get them scheduled, like the week before you open. If you have that much time. We had 2 days.
Yeah.
We had one day, but get them on the phone, let them know, touch base with them, especially the ones that weren't on all those Zooms. Just got to be proactive. Got to do a little work.
Well, and I mean, again, even to push transparency even more, right? You opened your doors. Even got our buddies like Woodsy walk in the door. When did all this happen? Now this is a guy who we're so close with that we assume he saw every piece of correspondence, every email, every group. Guys, reach out to your clients in ways that you traditionally wouldn't. Pick up a phone, have a conversation. Maybe it's just connecting with them. Hey, we haven't talked in a while. The state of our state is slowly changing and allowing businesses to reopen. What is your threshold? What is your level of comfort coming back in when we get the green light? Are you going to be here? Are you not going to be here? Figure out for yourselves what that percentage of people looks like in your four walls. And then, like Tim's saying, understand the marketplace is going to have that representation as well. But have those poles in the water. Know how to speak to those people. One thing I really want to drive home, though, is this specific conversation is very right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the actual tactic of the 30 days at home, graduating into a studio. This entire conversation, however, guys, needs to be something that you think about when it comes to attracting new business all the time.
All year round, yeah.
Because direct response is great, and you might see a immediate return on that money to, within a 30-day period or so, right? Yep. Put up an ad for a specific program. People come in, pay for it. They know what they're getting into, quick, fast. We all love that. But the truth of the matter is that is a very small percentage of the entire marketplace. And if you want to get good and you want to sustain, you want to build a marketing platform for your business that can sustain and consistently have people coming on board that you don't need to go throw an ad dollar at, and position. Get good at building your ecosystem. Build a list of prospects. Yep. Continue to provide value. Long-term nurture sequences. Figure out
automation.
Automate it. Obviously, I mean, if you haven't caught on to how big of a
let me throw some stuff out there that everybody can do right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So an underutilized tactic is lead magnets. Underutilized, and what I mean by lead magnets, it's a piece of information that has value or inherent value that your client will trade their contact information in order to get it. You've all been targeted with ads that have the blueprint or the strategy or the video series that might be free. It should be free on a lot of levels, but you've also got something called the Tripwire. A Tripwire is a low cost something, $7, $14, that helps self-liquidate the cost of the marketing. Mm-hmm. But a lead magnet could be a million things. Let's talk about a few real quick. You can do an at-home program. That can be a lead magnet technically. A nutrition plan, a recipe book. We did one called Salsa Recipes back in 7 years ago.
Yeah.
You can do a video series on taking somebody from point A to point B. It could be 4 videos over 4 days. It could be, give me some more.
Endless.
There's a million of them.
From a gym stance, it could be, how to corrective exercises for lower back pain.
Everybody makes
all sorts of 10 ways of making healthier food options. How to eat out at a restaurant without blowing your diet. How to consume the effects of alcohol on training. Endless. If you have these conversations within your facility, see that common thread amongst your clientele.
Yep.
Find the value in there. Turn it into a piece of value, like Tim said. Bring it to the marketplace as an ebook or a Tripwire if it has additional value that you are comfortable selling.
Now, the takeaway here is, yes, you're going to get leads. What you do with those leads is how you monetize it. So if you're getting leads and you're just sending them the ebook and that's the end of the conversation, that's a waste of time. There's a million ways to optimize. Number one, you can retarget. So you can create a list and retarget that list over time. If they've downloaded your ebook, you can now send them ads for your offers.
Yep.
You can send them testimonials. You can put them into a nurture sequence on Keep, and you can put them through 5-7 emails, a couple text messages. You can send them you can email them additional ebooks
or other things of value.
Really grow it. You can for those follow-up sequences, you need to reference what they just got. So it needs to be its own campaign. Hey, did you get a chance to look at, I love number 5 in that ebook, and here's why, and here's a client that went and did this. And, here's the reason why most people don't do this. It takes a lot of strategy and it takes a lot of work. However, the ebooks that we've done, and many of you listening have downloaded plenty of our ebooks. They have made us more money than most anything else we've ever done. Take that to the bank. We'll do an ebook. You'll get into our ecosystem. You'll get emails over months and months, and finally something clicks, or you're in the right frame of mind, and it's time to take action on an offer that we have, and we gave you enough value that you know, like, and trust us at that point, and maybe you're in the right time
Position,
of your life.
sure.
Same thing goes for the fitness clients out there. They may have downloaded your ebook and they were going to read it, and they didn't read it today, and then maybe a month from now you send them a reminder and they read it, and now they're in a right frame of mind, or maybe they just got moved into the area, they downloaded it the first week they were here, and now they're ready to join. There's a million reasons.
Perfect example. We in the episode that we did with Casey and Jerry just recently, two episodes ago, I think, Casey brought up the fact that, at his grand opening, they had our CLA in effect.
Yes.
Right? He had somebody that had came in, did a trial, didn't sign up then. Here we are a year or so, or 16 months, I don't remember the exact timeline. He then continued to nurture that list over time, positioned a new opportunity as things opened back up. Somebody comes in and says, oh, yeah, I was at the facility. He looks up who it was. He's like, oh, yeah, I remember they were in for a trial. Here we are, that person that he paid for to acquire that lead, let's, for the sake of conversation, let's say a year ago, paid for that lead.
Yep.
A year later, that lead came back into the business, paid him for a membership.
Join the gym.
How many people are contacting a lead more than one time, or once they fall out of that initial, let's say it's just an automated 3-email follow-up or something. Once that stops, it's done. These are the systems.
Most gyms stop there.
Absolutely.
Yep. Not the clients we work with. They've got our CLA, and they stay on top of these leads, and guess what happens? Wow, they showed up. Where did this lead come from? You go back and look at the history. Wow, they came in on that ebook. Happened here. It
happens all the. Yeah, I remember this story. Yeah,
that salsa recipe I was telling you all about.
Yeah.
That guy was on our list for 2 years. He kept getting our emails, and what happened in his life was his coach, his trainer, moved for family reasons, and he was out on his own, and he saw our emails, and he downloaded a recipe book.
Isn't it
2
amazing?
years prior.
In marketing, right, as we continue to study not trends but marketing ideas and different ways to communicate effectively, a change of belief system is what moves somebody into action. Okay, when you can follow up with logic and make it make sense for them, that's when somebody's comfortable making a purchase. The problem is all of us skip that portion. We never have the conversation about where the person is, how we can meet them today. We always, again, back to direct response. We're just slapping them in the face with the dollar amount, more often than not, assuming that these people are ready to buy. Guys, if you acquired a lead and you paid good money for that lead, if they were ready to buy in a month or two, wouldn't you like the conversation? What do you want to say to that person so that they know who you are? How do you want to build that trust, and respect factor? To me, that type of email automation or the conversation that goes into that is fun. Is there's so much power there because you're educating somebody in a way that's providing so much value from something they're interested in. You need to provide that in order for them to be comfortable in order to make that sale. People are rushing to the sale and assuming that this client's not right for my business or they're not interested in what I have to offer.
That's a bad lead.
How many times do we hear that excuse?
That guy was a bad lead. No, he just wasn't ready to buy it
today. But then let's have a conversation tomorrow or next week. Or or provide some value so that we can have that conversation. If you're not nurturing your list, you don't deserve to ask them for a sale.
And by the way, nurturing the list isn't sending them a newsletter.
Or an offer once a month.
Yeah, that's not. Or just blasting out offers. That's going to be another episode. But the takeaway here is that you can get leads right now, and the people that aren't comfortable, you can work them through the program to get them to show up at your gym, and you're going to win. You're going to win. You're going to come out of this thing way ahead. So get ready, guys. Good things on the horizon for those of you who haven't opened yet, and the guys and girls that are open. Congrats, and keep your foot on the gas. Stay
diligent, yeah.
Keep your foot on the gas, and keep crushing, guys. All right, that's it for this episode. Until next time, keep changing lives. We'll see you. Bye.